This presentation is on the sitting balance scale developed by Melody and Thompson. So before we get started, I just want everyone to take a second to think about why we would measure sitting balance and also how measuring sitting balance can direct our treatment when it comes to our interventions.
So the sitting balance scale was developed by these two physical therapists, Melody and Thompson. So they wanted they wanted to create an outcome measurement tool that assessed static sitting balance and dynamic sitting balance. And the way they did that was first by testing the validity of another outcome measurement tool called the trunk impairment scale. And what the trunk impairment scale was that it measures motor impairment of the trunk after a stroke through the evaluations of static and sitting balance. However, the scoring for the trunk impairment scale was mostly directed to motor performance, but Melody and Thompson wanted a way to target a specific populations in the geriatric community, and so the sitting balance scale was derived from parts of the trunk impairment scale. So the sitting balance scale measures static and dynamic balance with somebody who's sitting for older adults who are mostly non-ambulatory. And it's made up of 11 questions. And these questions represent various functional abilities that are related to sitting balance. Either it's static or dynamic. Examples would be sitting supported with eyes closed, or turning to look over behind the left and the right shoulders when sitting, or picking up objects from the floor while sitting unsupported, and many more. And you score each of these questions or the functional abilities that are from 0 to 4, 0 being the worst performance and 4 being the best performance. Since this is a performance-based outcome measurement tool, it is the clinician who scores this. And then in the end, you interpret it by looking at each functional ability and to see where the patient scored a 3 or below, which would indicate fall risk. And those functional abilities would be the ones that you would have to address. Like, for example, if a patient scored, say, a 2, like sitting unsupported with eyes closed, that would be something that you would work on. You would work on some proprioceptive techniques with them. Or if they scored somewhere below a 3 with sitting unsupported for more than 10 seconds, then you would work on like their endurance, and you would just practice that. And so on.
This topic is important in PT because we all sit during the day, and having a good sitting balance can lead to a decreased risk of falls, which is what we want from our patients. So with this specific population of geriatrics, yes, they're kind of not like us where they're in class or they're at home. They're mostly at home, but they're like going to be sitting to watch TV or eating meals with their family or just playing like games with their friends and family. And in order to have a good sitting balance, this can help with those activities because they're not going to fall over when they're sitting at the table and could fall on the floor, or they're not going to fall forward while sitting on the couch and potentially hit their head on the coffee table. This is useful for us as PTAs because, one, we can assess our patients and see where they are. So let's say our patient scored a 1 on sitting supported with their eyes closed. We can easily do just static sitting with supported with their eyes open and just kind of watch how they're sitting in that position and just kind of work on using just simple balance like that. Or let's say they were unable to sit while turning over to look over both shoulders, we can do some thorax that can strengthen those obliques, just doing some seated twist or just doing our exercises in supine and just doing like kind of a supine twist to strengthen those obliques so that they can be able to do that trunk rotation to look over their shoulder. So this is helpful for us as PTAs because we can see where our patients are at and then also can kind of help guide our rehab like all other outcome measurement tools do. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reply to this thread on Blackboard, and we'll get back to your question as soon as we can.